Greetings, everyone. My name is Charles Kovach, the not safe for work presidential candidate campaigning for more direct democracy. And because simply saying I want a more direct democracy over and over and over again gets kind of dull and repetitive and boring, I make videos talking about different shit, trying to get attention to this concept in this campaign. This video, as you can tell by me wearing my reading glasses, I'm going to be doing something I haven't done in a while, and that is read a piece of legislation. And the piece of legislation I'm going to read in this video is H.R. 3884 of the 116th Congress, something that Gabbard talked about at some point today. I think it was today. The bill to the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act of 2019. Alright, let's see if this thing is actually worthwhile or not. A bill to decriminalize and deschedule cannabis to provide for reinvestment in certain persons adversely impacted by the war on drugs and to provide for the expungement of certain cannabis offenses and for other purposes. Okay, the short title, blah blah blah, I don't care about that. The MORE Act of 2019. That's clever. Section 2, decriminalization of cannabis. Subsection Alpha, cannabis removed from the schedule of controlled substances. Subsection 1, removal in statute. Subsection Charlie of Schedule 1 of Section 202 Charlie of the Controlled Substances Act, 21 U.S.C. 812 is amended. Subsection Alpha, by striking 10 marijuana, spelled with an H apparently, and Bravo by striking 17 tetrahydrocannabinols, except for tetrahydrocannabinols in hemp, as defined in Section 297 Alpha of the Agricultural Marketing Act of 1946. I'm not going to read all these things for you and look up all these bills. Removal from schedule. Not later than 180 days after the date of the enactment of this act, the Attorney General shall finalize a rulemaking under the Section 201 Alpha 2, removing marijuana and tetrahydrocannabinols from the schedules of controlled substances. Marijuana and tetrahydrocannabinols shall each be deemed to be a drug or other substance that does not meet the requirements for inclusion in any schedule. A rulemaking under this paragraph shall be considered to have taken effect as of the date of the enactment of this act for the purposes of any offense committed, case pending, conviction entered, and in case of juvenile, any offense committed, case pending, and adjudication of juvenile delinquency entered before, on, or after the date of enactment of this act. So, it might be worth to note that marijuana is spelled two different ways in this bill so far, one with a J and one with an H. No one would ever cause problems with that, I'm sure. Okay, let's go. Going up to subsection Bravo, conforming amendments to Controlled Substances Act. The Controlled Substances Act, 21 U.S.C. 801 and sequitur is amended. 1. Where the hell did that come from? 1. In section 102.44, 21 U.S.C. 802.44 by striking marijuana. 2. In section 401 Bravo, 21 U.S.C. 841 Bravo. Alpha, subsection Alpha, in paragraph 1. In paragraph A, I'm just not even going to call out the subsections anymore. In clause 6, by inserting or after the semicolon, by striking clause 7, and by redesignating clause 8 as clause 7. In subparagraph Bravo, in clause 6, by inserting or after the semicolon, by striking clause 7, and by redesignating clause 8 as clause 7. In subparagraph Charlie, in the first sentence, by striking subparagraphs Alpha, Bravo, and Delta, and inserting subparagraphs Alpha and Bravo. By striking subparagraph Delta, by redesignating subparagraph Echo as subparagraph Delta, and in subparagraph Delta 1, as so redesignated, by striking subparagraphs Charlie and Delta and inserting subparagraphs Charlie. Also by striking paragraph 4, and by redesignating paragraphs 5, 6, and 7 as paragraphs 4, 5, 6, respectively. A bunch of places where they're going to take the word marijuana out. A bunch of places that are going to take the last sentence out. More places taking marijuana out and striking, such as a marijuana cigarette, from a paragraph. And changing terms. Let's see, other conforming amendments. The National Forest System Drug Control Act of 1986 is amended, striking marijuana and other. It's in several locations. The interception of communications. Section 2516 of Title 18 United States Code is amended by striking the word marijuana in a couple of places. Retroactivity. The amendments made by this section to the Controlled Substances Act 21 U.S.C. 801 et sequitur are retroactive and shall apply to any offense committed, case pending, conviction entered, and in the case of a juvenile, any offense committed, case pending, or adjudication of juvenile delinquency entered before, on, or after the date of amendment of this act. Here's something interesting. Section 3, Demographic Data of Cannabis Business Owners and Employees. Let's read. In general, the Bureau of Labor Statistics shall regularly compile, maintain, and make public data on the demographics of individuals who are business owners in the cannabis industry, individuals who are employed in the cannabis industry. The data collected under subsection alpha shall include the data regarding age, certifications and licenses, disability status, educational attainment, family and marital status, nativity, race and Hispanic ethnicity, school environment, veteran status, and sex. Why does the Bureau of Labor Statistics collect all this? Do they collect all this stuff normally? I need to look this up. Maybe you should look it up too. But if that's not something normal, then I would say it's highly curious. Why would you want all these pieces of information about people selling cannabis? I mean, I could see it from a point. I mean, I can see reasons why, like legitimate reasons why. But even still, in today's modern day and age, with yes. I forgot to mention in my other video, the Patriot Act got renewed. Oh, it's so wonderful. We're going to get spied on for another 4 or 5 years. Anyways, okay, definitions. So confidentiality. The names, addresses, and other identifying information of individuals employed to the cannabis industry shall be kept confidential by the Bureau and not be made available to the public. Definitions. The term cannabis means either marijuana or cannabis as defined under the state law authorizing the sale or use of cannabis in which the individual or entity is located. Cannabis industry means means an individual or state entity that is licensed or permitted to under a state or local law to engage in commercial cannabis related activity. The term owner means an individual or entity that is defined as an owner under the state or local law where an individual business is licensed or permitted. Section 4, creation of an opportunity trust fund and imposition of tax on cannabis products. Has nobody learned anything yet? It's really stupid to just tax marijuana because you can literally grow this shit in your fucking home. And not like you need to grow great quality stuff. Now, of course you're going to ask, do you smoke marijuana? Yes, I've smoked marijuana. I don't really care for it. But I know enough about it to know that the reality of marijuana, cannabis, whatever you want to call it, is that it is realistically a medicinal plant that you can grow in your own home or know a guy. And there's no way in hell you're going to convince me that the reason why it was made illegal in the first place was so that the pharmaceutical companies could pump these drugs into your throat and make you take all this bullshit stuff and painkillers and whatnot and prevent you from growing something in your own backyard that actually can do the same thing. I mean, Why let people have something for free when you can charge them an arm and a leg for it, right? And get them addicted to it and make them die and all that stuff. Am I right? Come on. Come on now. It's capitalism. But yeah, so I'm going to read through this first and then I'll bitch some more. A trust fund establishment, subchapter alpha of chapter 98 of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 is amended by adding at the end the following new section. Section 9512, Opportunity Trust Fund. Alpha, the creation of the fund. There's established in the Treasury of the United States a trust fund known as the Opportunity Trust Fund, referred to this section as a trust fund, consisting of such amounts as may be appropriated or credited to such fund and provided in this section, section 9602 Bravo. B. Transfer Bravo transfers to such transfers to trust fund. They are hereby appropriated to the trust fund amounts equivalent to the net revenues received in the Treasury from the tax imposed by Section 5701 Hotel. Generally, expenditures amounts in the trust fund shall be available without a further appropriation only as follows. 1. 50% to the Attorney General to carry out Section 3052 Alpha, Part 00, Oscar of the Omnibus Crime Control and Safe Streets Act of 1968. 2. 10% to the Attorney General to carry out Section 3052 Bravo, Part Oscar of the Omnibus Crime Control and Safe Streets Act of 1968. 3. 20% to the Administrator of the Small Business Administration to carry out Section 5 Bravo 1 of the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act of 2019, which is this bill. 4. 20% to the Administrator of the Small Business Administration to carry out Section 5 Bravo 2 of this bill. And then we have, that looks like a typo. Oh, wait. Okay, so that was the end of everything to be stuck into the Internal Revenue Code. And then you're going to have a clerical amendment, the table of sections for whatever. Imposition of tax. In general, Section 5701 of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 is amended by redesignating subsection Hotel as subsection India and by inserting after subsection Golf the following new subsection. Hotel, cannabis products. On cannabis products manufactured in or imported into the United States, there shall be imposed a tax equal to 5% of the price for which sold. So, federal sales tax, apparently, on marijuana, along with whatever state sales tax you're paying. This seems like a really good idea. No, it doesn't. Let's see. Where the fuck did we go? Cannabis product defined. Section 5702. Such code is amended by adding at the end the following new subsection. Cannabis product. In general, as provided in paragraph 2, as the term cannabis product means any cannabis or any article which contains cannabis or any derivative thereof. Exception: the term cannabis product shall not include any medicine or drug that is a prescribed drug. 3. The term cannabis means all parts of the plant cannabis sativa L, or whether growing or not, the seeds thereof, the resin extracted from any part of such plant, and every compound, manufacture, salt, derivative, mixture, or preparation of such plant, its seeds or resin, and does not include hemp, as defined in Section 297 Alpha of the Agricultural Marketing Act of 1946, or the mature stalks of such plant, fiber produced from such stalks, oil or cake made from the seeds of such plant, any other compound, manufactured, salt, derivative, mixture, or preparation of such mature salts, except the resin extracted therefrom, fiber, oil, or cake, or the sterilized seed of such plant which is incapable of germination. Got all that? So basically, the weed part is the weed. The other part is not. Cannabis products treated as tobacco products. Section 5702 Charlie. Such a code is amended by striking and roll your own tobacco and reinserting roll your own tobacco, and cannabis products. Manufacturer of cannabis products treated as manufacturer of tobacco products. Adding new stuff to the subsection. Manufacturer of cannabis products. In general, any person who plants, cultivates, harvests, produces, manufactures, compounds, converts, processes, prepares, or packages any cannabis product shall be treated as a manufacturer of a cannabis product and as manufacturing such cannabis product. So I guess this means if you decide to grow your own shit, you're now a manufacturer, even if you're not selling it to somebody. Paragraph 1 should not apply with respect to any cannabis product which is for such... Okay, never mind. Which is for such person's own personal consumption or use. Guess I should have read before I spoke up. Application of rules related to manufacture of tobacco products. Any reference to a manufacturer of tobacco products or to manufacturing tobacco products shall be treated as including a reference to a manufacturer of cannabis products or to manufacturing cannabis products, respectively. You know, I would just like to point out that the tobacco industry is really fucking stupid because they had an entire industry and they were all working together to try and prevent cigarettes from being what's it called? From all this legislation coming out against cigarettes. I mean, they spent so much money and fought so hard for all that. They would have had a much easier time and spent way less money getting weed legalized because they already had all the stuff to have a grip on that industry. Just saying. I mean, even though people like grow weed in their backyards, whatnot. I mean, if they were going down, you should have gone down smartly and went for, you know, keeping your name out there in something people actually want. I mean, come on. Some people are fucking lazy. Where did I leave off? Application of certain rules for determining price. This is interesting. Section 5702 Lima of, or is that 1? It looks like a 1. Classes are helpful. Of such code is amended by striking blah 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 and say yeah whatever. So there apparently, I'm guessing there is a section in 5702 which determines rules for determining price, and this will just amend that. I'm not going to look that up. Conforming amendment section. Shut up, computer. Conforming amendment of 5702 Juliet of such code is amended by adding the end of the following sentence. In the case of a cannabis product, the previous sentence shall be applied by substituting from a facility of a manufacturer required to file a bond under section... Yeah, I don't really care about that. Effective date, except otherwise provided in the subsection, shall apply to articles manufactured or imported in calendar quarters beginning more than 1 year after the date of the enactment of this act. The trust fund amendments take effect on the date of the enactment of this act. Trust fund programs. Okay, yep, it's the Omnibus Crime Control and Safe Streets Act of 1968. You'll get a Cannabis Justice Office, which will have a director. The director, let's see, so not later than 6 months of the enactment of the section, the director shall, yep, have employees, yep, talks about how to build it, at least 100 employees, legal counsel, the duties and functions. The Cannabis Justice Office is authorized to administer the Community Reinvestment Grant Program, performs such other functions as the Assistant Attorney General for the Office of the Justice Program may delegate. In Title I of the Omnibus Crime Control and Streets Act of 1968 is amended by adding some more stuff, which is a Community Reinvestment Program. So the Community Reinvestment Program is to provide eligible entities with funds to administer services for individuals most adversely impacted by the war on drugs, including job training, reentry services, legal aid for civil and criminal cases, including expungement of cannabis convictions, literacy programs, youth recreation and mentoring programs, and health education programs. Substance use treatment services. The Community Reinvestment Grant Program established in subsection Alpha shall provide eligible entities with funds to administer substance use treatment services for individuals most adversely impacted by the war on drugs. Funding from the Opportunity Trust Fund. Yeah. Definitions. So this is just going to put a bunch of definitions in the IRS code talking about the trust fund and the community program. Definitions, blah, blah, blah. Section 6, availability of small business administration programs and services to cannabis-related legitimate businesses and service providers. Section 3 of the Small Business Act is amended by adding the cannabis-related legitimate service providers. The term cannabis, says the same thing as before. Cannabis-related legitimate business means a manufacturer, producer, any person or company that is a small business concern, and that engages in any activity described in subparagraph Bravos pursuant to law established by state or political division or subdivision of a state as determined by such state or political subdivision, and participates in any business or organized activity involves handling cannabis or cannabis products, including cultivating, producing, manufacturing, selling, blah, 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 blah. And, so, basically, it's saying, it's kind of weird, because it's saying, I guess it's basically saying, as long as the state recognizes a cannabis business, then the federal government's going to recognize it, too. The term service provider means a business, organization, or other person that sells goods or services to a cannabis-related legitimate business, or provides any business services, including sale, lease of real, or any other property, legal, or otherwise services, or other licensed services, or any other ancillary service relating to cannabis, and does not include a business, organization, or other person that participates in any business or organized activity that involves handling cannabis products, including cultivating, producing, manufacturing, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And so, person that makes the stuff. Got it. Or sorry, it sells the stuff, not makes the stuff. Let's see what else. Do we have anything else interesting in here? Small Business Development Center may not decline to provide services to an otherwise eligible small business concern under this section solely because such concern is cannabis related. This has to do with this, so it just talks about a bunch of stuff in the Small Business Act. The SCORE program, wonder what that is. Veteran Business Outreach Centers, loans. Administrator may not decline to provide a guarantee for a loan under this subsection. So if you're selling weed, you can't be denied a loan based on that. No discrimination in the provision of a federal public benefit in the basis of cannabis. No person may be denied any federal public benefit. So basically, you can't be denied anything because you smoked weed. You can't be. Let me read the whole thing. Benefit. Section 401 Charlie of the Personal Responsibility and Work on Opportunity Reconciliation Act 1996, 8 U.S.C. 1611 Charlie, on the basis of any use or possession of cannabis or on the basis of conviction or adjudication of juvenile delinquency for cannabis offense by that person. Federal agencies may not use past or present cannabis or marijuana use as criteria for granting, denying, or rescinding a security clearance. Seems legit. No adverse effect for purposes of the immigration laws. So for purposes of immigration laws, cannabis may not be considered a controlled substance, and an alien may not be denied any benefit or protection under immigration laws. Okay, so that's pretty good. All this stuff is basically saying the federal government isn't going to punish people because they smoked weed. Resentencing and expungement. Expungement of federal cannabis offense convictions for individuals not under a criminal justice sentence. Not later than 1 year after the date of the enactment of this act. Each federal district shall conduct a comprehensive review and issue an order expunging each conviction or adjudication, blah blah blah. To the extent practicable, each federal district shall notify each individual whose arrest, conviction, or adjudication has been expunged. You can petition the court for expungement if you have not. The court shall seal all records related to conviction or adjudication of juvenile delinquency. So so if you were convicted on a weed charge, all those records are still going to be there, but they're going to get sealed. And for any individual, let's see, sentencing review is under a criminal justice sentence for a cannabis offense. A court that imposes a sentence shall, on motion of the individual, the director, bureau of the prisons, the attorney government, or the court, conduct a sentencing review hearing. If the individual is indigent, counsel shall be appointed to represent the individual in any sentencing. So, what is basically saying, if I'm reading this right, because now I'm kind of skimming because I know you're probably like half paying attention right now, is that if you were charged for like a really big crime, then you can petition for review, get your sentence reduced, and get out. Get out earlier. An individual, yep, make treaty. So the effect of your expungement is it never happened to you, and you will be immune from any civil or criminal penalties related to perjury, false swearing, or false statements, or failure to disclose such arrest, conviction, or adjudication. So basically, if you not only are you going to be, not only is it going to be that any conviction you had never happened, but if you lied about it and you were penalized for it, then that goes away too. References to existing law. Oh, okay. So this addresses what I was saying before about it being some points with an H, some points sometimes spelled with an H, sometimes spelled with a J in here. Just definition, rulemaking. Okay, so that's that bill, which, okay, I understand what the bill wants to do, or what the intention of the bill is to, collecting the 5% tax and using that to rebuild the communities that have been destroyed on the war on drugs. Of course, I'm always concerned, especially with how corrupt our government is, if that money is actually going to be spent that way, or not go to some private developer and saying, "Oh yeah, give me the money, I'll fix this place up real nice," and gentrification and all that. It's not an easy decision because you want to correct these things that have happened, but at the same time, you don't want to create a situation where you're just going to keep a black market going anyways, which has happened in a lot of places where marijuana or cannabis, whatever you want to call it, has been not only legalized, but heavily regulated. And it's heavily regulated here in the state, which is stupid. It's also irradiated to reduce the effects and so forth. But yeah, I mean, I can't say it's a bad bill. It is a good, it does seem like a very well-intentioned bill. So I can't say that I don't support it. I'm just curious as to how the people are going to react to it in the different markets, and if there's still going to be a black market to such a thing, or for cannabis. But yeah, there's the reading of that bill. I approve.